So, the famous painting, The Scream. So, that represented for me autism, the ear, the Alexander Graham Bell movement, all of these concepts that deaf people lived with were shown iteration of The Scream. My next project was called Hush Autism. This was not on a grand scale like the previous work. This was smaller, approximately 9 feet, but very powerful. Let me explain the meanings within this piece. There was the theme of the cage again, and a red light, and the feeling and idea of hiding. This is the inside. The red picture shows the inside of this cage. There's a shape bound in the center. It looks like a butterfly in a chrysalis. On the background of this cage, it represents self-acceptance and passiveness, passively accepting the struggle. It's called Hush Autism. Okay. Okay. So it parallels the process of birth and growing up. We're born, we know nothing. We start to absorb beliefs and societal norms. And we all know the experience of being hushed and being pushed into the background. It parallels that experience that we have growing up and being pushed to the side, hushed, silenced, set aside. But then, once you enter this cage, from the outside you don't know that there's something going on within this cage. From the outside you wouldn't know. That's the hush, don't talk about it idea that we're all so familiar with in our everyday lives. But then once you look deeper and look inside, you see the anguish. My next piece is called Gather. Surdism has so many ideas to represent. It is a gathering and a partnership of so much, so many concepts and ideas. That's what this piece represents. Okay. So, Surdism is a part of the art world. The art world has so many aspects: music, multimedia, visual, theatrical arts, cinema. I mean, it's a nearly endless list. There's just such a huge open field for creation, and everyone is welcome. Okay. So, yes. Okay. So, I wanted to interpret the images that I saw, but I also wanted to go deeper. I wanted to bring science into this entire experience to make it a completely powerful. I wanted to explore metaphors. I wanted something completely new. To becoming an artist.
Deafwood doesn't include the concept of art, so I added that to make it Surdism.
Deafhood itself originally did not include the concept of art, so I included art. It's not a limited ghetto, but rather an open gateway and a powerful bridge for communication and understanding, because that is the purpose of art and always has been. Okay. Oh, could you spell that? Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay. I almost missed that word. I mean, I came here to NTID to show my art. I know NTID is at a university and has art, and I didn't want to remain isolated in a small area. I wanted to be in somewhere where many people would pass through and see the work. I wanted it to be in a building where many people pass through so that they can absorb the ideas and pass them on. So just this slide basically explains deafhood. As you can see, the major points are there. And this piece of artwork behind me.
What does that say? It's called the Deafwood tree.
Yeah.
All I can see is tree.
So I created this piece called the Deafhood Tree, which goes from being alone. It illustrates the shift from aloneness to partnership to community to communication in the form of a tree. It shows the shape of the infinity sign within it, because deafhood and communication is infinite and will continue forever. That shape, that sign also represents fellowhood and unity. So, to summarize, Surdism's manifesto incorporates three major ideas: oppression of the deaf and the rise of Surdism, where autism denigrates, deafhood welcomes, and Surdism reveals.
Thank you.
So as I was working on the flag, I was just overwhelmed with so many ideas. And I drew this bird flying free. The body is made of eyes, and the wings are made of hands, to show the world the victory and triumph of deafhood. And behind the bird you see the Surdism flag. Politics and art together. This also relates to the idea of Devia, the famous Devia mural. And you may notice that they incorporated the deaf union flag in Devia as an honor to me. So we show the union.
I am sure that there are some people who might have a burning question that they would like to speak to Arnaud about. Is anyone who'd like to start with questions? You might need you, because I don't know if he's going to copy some. Oh, she's asking. She just asked if. Wait. Asking that what is the definition of Surdism? In English, it would be deafness with a capital D. And we would add the word ism on it, because sourd means deaf in French. And the word ism is added to it to convey the concept of deafism. So Surdism is more clear. There's another question. In the art of ism that you put in your installation in a government building, how did that happen? How did you convince the government to allow that to happen where we don't have that in the United States? You're right. In this case, I was very lucky because as a friend who worked within the government system, so I was able to capitalize on that friendship and bring my art to the people. Did you have to pay for that? When the installation occurred, people in the government offices were very complimentary. However, when the media became involved, it turns out they didn't have much to say about it, so it was very powerful. They were very, it was interesting, the responses. The government officials were all right with it at the beginning, but then when the media started to spread, there was a little bit more discomfort among the groups. The friend that I had in the government was a lovely person, very sweet woman. And to have that was a little bit dramatic. They were looking for a nice little art piece to put in the building when in fact they saw this powerful political statement. They very quietly said thank you, but I think they were all quite uncomfortable with what we wound up with. No, I didn't have to pay for it. The cage structure that was on the floor making the circle, I had to pay for. But the rest of the installation had not, there was no money changing hands. It was volunteers who helped. I wish we had that here in the United States. It took 3 days to complete this. I know Devia is within the deaf community and we know what it is, but I think it's more important now for the public to understand it in the United States. And unfortunately, we haven't had that experience yet. I agree with your point that it needs to be a public acknowledgement, not just a quiet piece of the deaf community. So thank you so much. One more round of applause for Arnaud, please. Thank you, too. Thank you to Divya. Thank you for the celebration this weekend. Thank you for allowing me to come and present. I truly appreciate this honor. Divya has saved my life. So I really would like to thank Divya for the help that they've given me and thank them for saving my life.